What's up, party people? Tesla. Up, down, sideways. No idea what's happening with Tesla. Let me know if my audio is coming in okay. 8:55 for the day, Tesla is. Let's see, let me reload the site. See here. Good. All right, thanks, Sean. Awesome. Coming in okay. So yeah, Tesla is an interesting week so far. I know it's only been 2 days, but Tesla's up 42 bucks on the day, up 5.3%. Hey Bella, how's it going? Summit Trading, John, Mike, welcome guys. Welcome. Yeah, Tesla's let's talk about some shenanigans going on in Tesla stock today. There's quite literally, like yesterday when we fell like 8% yesterday. Hey Cindy, yesterday when we fell yesterday, and Rob from Tesla Daily put out a nice video last night about him hinting like at. Did you guys see that video from last night where Rob kind of hinted at maybe there's a capital raise going on today, and all capital raises have been on Tuesday, and maybe there's a sniff of that in the market, and that's why it collapsed, and Bank of America coming out with a $900 price target, all that sort of stuff. Like that's not like fraud to me, but I'm glad I woke up this morning and it was yeah, I'm glad I woke up this morning and didn't have news about another capital raise. It just doesn't make sense for Tesla to do another capital raise. It doesn't make sense to. Let me just try to fix the chat box here. It doesn't make sense. Hey Tranth. I'm good. Yeah, and like Tesla does not need to do any capital raises. Like they don't need more money in the war chest. And if they were to raise money, just get debt. Like they don't need to dilute shareholders anymore. And I think Elon's made that pretty clear. I mean, if Tesla stock runs up to $1,000, maybe we can reconsider that in the next little bit here. But it's got good. Hey Joshua. Yeah, Rob's good. Rob's awesome. And let me just try to fix the chat here. It's I just don't see it happening. I don't see it. I don't see I don't see it happening. Is all I have to say. For a while I was kind of confused because I was thinking, if these targets came out, because usually what happens is like with Goldman, right? I think Goldman came out with like a huge 760 street high price target back in the day, and that's what caused it to go to or that's what caused it to run higher, and then once it run higher, that's when they split. But it's not like the next day. So when Bank of America came out with that $900 price target yesterday, it wasn't like I was expecting it for the next day. Maybe if it runs up from there. Hey Gentry, how's it going, man? They'll split if over 1,000, says Sylvian. Will they split? I've kind of said like, okay, if and when Tesla hits 1,200, we'll have that discussion again. I don't feel like there's appetite for them to split like 2-1. Like, what's the point? I mean, I guess you kind of lock in the gains when you split, right? And we all saw what happened last time they split. But I have a hard time believing they're gonna do it unless it's over like 1,200, I'd say. Rob's talking about it, 0.8% if I recall, not a significant event. It's not significant in the short run, right? But whenever you dilute shareholders, it's a big deal, right? Like whenever you issue new shares, yes, you can issue new shares at a really low rate, or a really low percentage dilution wise, but over the long haul, it really reduces shareholder equity. And right now, Tesla's credit's pretty good. I mean, still junk status, but it'll get there with Moody's. And they could raise money right now just in the debt market. They don't need to dilute shareholders, I feel like. Let me see here. Background colors for previews and will not be showing stream. Oh, okay, gotcha. That is what's happening here. One sec. Try to do boxed. How does that look? I'm trying to make this chat more doable here. Hopefully the chat shows up anytime. Let's see here. Opinion guy, how do you only have 2.9k subs? You smart, like smart dude. Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. We just started this channel. Like, I know we're still a small channel, but we're growing. You guys have been awesome with your support. It's just apple juice. Mm. We've been, we've been growing really fast. I've been super just excited to whenever I come live and talk with you guys because a lot of the stuff, it's hard to find people in our lives, at least it is for me, that share the interest that we all have here, right? Like a lot of the stuff that we got going on is like pretty niche. Like there's not like you run into someone on the street, it's not like they're really going to care about Tesla stock and investing in Tesla. And that's why I feel like it's nice to have a community of people that all appreciate it because right, it's it's not hard to do it. Hey, opinion guy, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Keep it up. I will. Thank you. Much appreciated. You should pop up here. Hopefully my alert box works. We'll see. They'll announce a split. FJE, you always have the hottest takes. If they announce a split after hours, I'll send you a $20 Starbucks gift card or something if it happens today after hours. There's no way. No split until FSD becomes widely available. Yeah, makes sense. Agree on shareholder equity. Yep. There we go. Showed up. I'm not good with all the streaming tech, but I'm trying to learn. Yeah, John, like 1% shareholder dilution isn't the worst, right? But it's I forget who on Twitter posted, and I'll try to bring it up here. Tesla at 854. It's looking like it wants to crack. It looks like it wants to crack that 860 for the end of the day. Let's see if we have our streamers' luck. We've been having good luck with streaming and Tesla running to the close. I don't want to push my luck, but it has been pretty good. If you guys have been watching some of the streams before, we always seem to run towards the end of the day. We'll see if that continues today. Yeah, I kind of was daydreaming about kind of guidance and how many cars. I think Tesla can do 1 million cars next year. I feel like it's possible. I feel like how 500 was kind of like the reach goal. I do think 500. I do think 1 million is possible next year. Berlin's coming up in July, hopefully. Austin towards the end of the year. China's ramping up production. 4680 cells, lowering the cost of vehicles, making it more scalable, hopefully. Austin, I can't bank on Austin too much for next year. So I definitely think it's possible. I definitely think it's possible. Oh yeah, my call. What's up with my call? I didn't even check. Let me see one. Wait, I was gonna do something else. I was gonna pull up dilution. Someone on Twitter had a great dilution argument as to why diluting shareholders in the long run isn't good. I was going to try to pull it up here, but let me try to see my positions here. I don't have interactive brokers pulled up today because I have some positions on my phone that I want to trade and I can't on my computer because it really doesn't have the CPU processing. It's a MacBook Pro. It's not the best. Tesla 854 looking like. It looks like a Tesla wants to break up towards the end of the day here. Let's see if we can get that push. Let me try to refresh though real quick. Make sure everything's up to date. I don't use TradingView a lot, but I've heard good things about it. So here we are. All right, and I do have Gary Black's Twitter profile pulled up as well because I want to read through a couple of tweets. Tesla. All right, my short-term positions. All right. Square. What's Square up to right now? Square is 227. Okay, Square's looking strong. I like that. Zoom did a share offering today, so that was interesting. Like you would think someone at Zoom was like, okay, we're at $550, we're at $580, let's do an offering. No, they wait until Q1 and they're at $330, $350 now. Like, why do you do an offering now? Why didn't you do it when you were at all-time highs at $500+? Just seems stupid. Or there's something that I'm missing in terms of what they know that might be pushing it up. All right, Tesla looking like it's looking to test some of the resistance here with the moving averages at 855. Let's see if it can break above let's call it 856. If it breaks above 856 might be hard, but if it breaks above, maybe we can see high days again. A high day was 8 let me actually, I gotta pull up daily. I don't like it makes me do that. High day was 868, I want to say. Yeah, 868. Put the 1 minute graph. Huh. I don't like how it does that. Market open. Yeah, Berlin is key. It is, because I mean they're working on temporary permits right now there, from what Elon has said. But just thinking about this for a second, if the permitting office gives them any sort of trouble, it could easily go into fall or winter, right? Like, we all know bureaucracy sucks, and Elon said like legacy auto, like Volkswagen pretty much, and Daimler have been given them a hard time in Germany. I'm sure they have lobbyist groups that are trying to slow them down. So that's going to be the big question next year. Yeah, India news. So Gary or Vincent on Twitter, great follow as well. He thinks India is going to be a really big deal. Tesla has applied to, or I think it's incorporated in India, so now officially can probably start selling. We're gonna see if that's a big market. Like, the thing with Tesla is you can't take an old recipe and put it on Tesla. Like, Tesla creates a new market when they come into somewhere or they release a new product. You can't just say, well, autos sell this much in this country, therefore blah blah blah. Like, Tesla, like, if you do that, you make the mistake that people made with Apple, where they think the total addressable market is smartphones or phones, when you don't even know what a smartphone is yet in 2008, right? So when you know what a smartphone is and what the App Store is and all the peripherals that go with it and accessories and service and subscription based stuff, that's when you start getting into the power of Apple, or in this case Tesla. So I don't necessarily on the surface see the big deal with autos in India, because for the most part a lot of these big luxury autos in India are just luxury vehicles. For a lot of people, they're not feasible. You have to have, I think it's like 60% luxury sales tax for a lot of these cars coming in. Maybe that's going to change now, but I'm curious to see how they're going to adapt and localize what car they're going to make. Like, maybe they make a rickshaw, maybe they add because what India could use a lot is like power structure support, right? Like, the power lines go down all the time. There is not consistent power, so maybe there's some sort of solar angle that they come out with. That would be really cool. Like, if there was Tesla made solar a priority in a place like India, where power is scarce and solar is abundant. That's kind of a game changer now that I think about it a little bit. Yeah, they might guide for 850. Drinking age in Canada, it's I think it's 19. Yeah, 19. What software? This is Streamlabs. R&D. Yes, R&D might be a good one, right? In Bangalore. And I think, India has some of the most talented engineers in the world. And I think putting more R&D in places like that is going to be really smart in the long haul. Because remember, we live in a, hey Johnny, how's it going? In a COVID economy where people aren't going to be traveling as much, visas aren't going to be issued as much. I think talent is the biggest constraint on Tesla. And I think if you go where the people are, like, look at Silicon Valley, a lot of immigration happens from a country like India into those STEM jobs. So now with visas being halted, I think it's smart that they're kind of going to where the talent is, right? It's kind of like they're ahead of the game. They're playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers, right? Yeah, gentry, we're gonna talk about we'll talk about Gary Black here. Actually, let's do that now. So Gary Black pulled up his Twitter. I'm guessing you guys all know who Gary Black is. Yeah, good. Hey, Liam, how's it going? Tesla's going up. Let's see. Oh, okay. Thanks for the heads up. 856 is pop, but let's see if it can hold past 856. 856 seems like it seems like it's had a hard time today. So let's see. Again, we're trying to go for high a day, guys. That's what we do when we stream. We don't want to mess around. We try to go high a day every time. That's all we like to do. So let's get some good vibes going. All right, this is awesome. 858. Tesla's 858. Nice. Let's see here. Yeah, let's get through 860 here. This is awesome. Let's change this to the 3-minute. They don't have 2-minute. Whatever. Let's do 3. Okay, let's check that out. So Gary Black, you guys probably know Gary Black. He tweeted, selling 15 deltas out of the money calls 1 week out after big runs like last week has consistently been a moneymaker for anyone long stock. This is 9 times out of 10 true. I'm sure he got burned last week doing that because I remember, obviously you guys remember last week what happened with Tesla stock. So what he's saying here is selling 15, like what he's meaning here is 15 deltas away. So 1 standard deviation. I'll talk about what that means here in a second. But what he said was, I bought back. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Are you selling premium? Okay, FYI, I bought back my Tesla 1010 calls expiring this Friday that I sold last Friday at $9.20. So he rolled. He had losses from his other covered calls. Wow, he sold last week 830 covered calls. Oh, ouch. I will open a new 960 covered call expiring Friday, and then he annualizes the return. Okay, whatever. You can't really take that with a grain of salt. So let's pull up the options chain, shall we, for Tesla. Pull this up here. NASDAQ, Tesla option. I did sign up for Bazinga Pro as well, so see if that's any good. All right, so let's pull it up. So what he's saying here is if you own Tesla shares, right? And we'll wait for it to come here. 5-minute view. Let's go. Let's do that for a sec. 5-minute view looking pretty good. Looks like it kind of these EMAs kind of held support here for the most part. I think that's the 50 EMA. Yeah, 50-day EMA, exponential moving average. So it looks good. Looks good. It looks prime for kind of a pop into close. See the market second by second. No, it's too much. Okay. So what he's saying here, and I don't really use NASDAQ site, but let's check this out. Okay, so this week expiring. What he's saying is, and do they have Delta as a column? God darn it, they don't have Delta. Shit. All right. Let's use something else. Tesla options, and I would use interactive brokers, but I don't want to hog up my CPU right now. Okay, great. Yahoo Finance probably has it. Yeah, you've got it. Oh, okay. Okay, it looks like Tesla's testing 860 here. Let's see if it gets rejected or not. Let's check this out. So if you're listening, okay, let me know in the chat for a sec. How many of you guys do covered calls or are interested in doing covered calls? I guess the better probably question is, how many of you guys 860, nice. How many of you guys actually own Tesla shares that you'd be interested in doing? Because if you're not doing covered calls, yes, I mean, you might get burnt, but it's a good dividend strategy to do. No, I don't. No. Yeah, covered calls are not a way to make a 10 bagger. Okay, so real easy. We'll keep it easy here. Let's see if Delta is a column. Let's do Delta. Man, none of these places have Delta. That's just stupid. Okay, let me just ballpark it for you guys. So these, let's say the thousands are, if you want to come into your options chain, look for Delta on these, right? I'm guessing the thousands would be probably close to 16 deltas. Okay, 16 deltas for this week. Actually, it's probably even closer than 1,000. But let's just go with that. Let's go with 1,000 is, or it says right here, 930. Okay, 930s are what are called 1 standard deviation away. one standard deviation away. So if delta, whatever percentage delta is, you can equate it with technically the percentage chance of that strike falling in the money. Okay, of falling in the money. So if you have a 930 call right here, and it's selling for, and I have it pulled up on my app here, it's selling for $6. Okay, so don't mind this. You have shares. You can sell a 930 call for $6 expiring this week, and you have a 17% chance of the stock being in the money at the end of the week. So what Gary's doing is he's coming to the 15 deltas when he says I'm selling 15 deltas out of the money, covered calls. The downside is if it goes to that strike and it passes it, you cap your gains on your shares. The upside is, what are the chances of that happening every single week? And 9 times out of 10, if you can collect that $6, remember you're collecting $600 per 1,000 shares you have, then you can make a good amount of premium from that, right? Tesla in general it gives a good return because people love buying Tesla options. Yes, Tesla can ignite anymore. Exactly, DJ. So that's the downside is, look at last week. We rallied $80 in 2 days. Like you got screwed, absolutely screwed, right? So I do think though, selling premium is a good way to go about for some stocks. I think Tesla's too volatile right now. I think what you want to do though is you want to wait until these benchmark funds have all bought in. And if today's any indication, it looks like they still got some time to go. If we pull up the 2-minute graph, actually let's pull up the 5-minute graph today. Check this out. So it was just like systematic buying today, right? Like from open, any sort of dips in the morning were bought. Just great strength into lunch. We had a dip. What, like 10 o'clock down to lunch or early lunch. Again, bought back up. A little bit of a sell-off. Tested the 50 EMA here, and it's kind of been living there since the last, last 2 hours, 3 hours. Finally now, Tesla is sitting at, up the 1-minute graph again. Tesla is now at 860. It's having some difficulty getting through, but that's expected. Let's see if this can make a difference, or if we can pop through 860 here and retest 868 high of day. Again, if we go back and keep switching here, but I keep thinking of newer stuff. So if we look at the 15-minute across multiple days for a second, you'll see it looks like kind of like 860, 870 has been kind of a resistance. And then it seems like obviously 882, 884 was kind of the all-time high. So again, it's healthy to see consolidation. Yesterday was honestly a bit sketchy. It seems like on Friday when Jim Cramer said, oh, we expect, and I actually didn't watch the video, but a lot of people told me that he said on Friday, we expect a lot of upgrades to happen on Monday for Tesla. That was interesting. Like, who told him? Like, who tipped him off? And is it maybe true that the people that tipped him off about upgrades coming on Monday for Tesla said we have a big upgrade coming on Monday for 900 street high from Bank of America, and maybe someone caught wind of that, spread it around over the weekend, and then put 2 and 2 together and said, okay, the last time we got a street high from one of these banks, we had a capital raise come up the following Tuesday. So is it possible, and this is a conspiracy theory, that inner circles amongst Wall Street guys and girls talk to each other a little bit, and then on Monday that's where we saw that huge drop off, is because a lot of people expected a cap raise yesterday, and when we didn't get one, obviously we're seeing strength build back up into Tesla shares. I just find it interesting how Jim Cramer said we have upgrades coming on Friday. Rob hinted at a capital raise yesterday, so that got me thinking last night. No rational part of me ever thought there would be a capital raise. Like, I was like, they just did one. Elon literally said in his interview with, I think, Wall Street Journal or Business Insider, he said when he was in Austin, like, yeah, we were toying with the cap. We were toying with whether or not we should raise $5 billion. We just thought I guess we should just might as well do it. So it seemed like he really like didn't need the money, didn't really want to do it. So why would he turn around 3 weeks later and do another one, right? Um, what's a stock offering? A stock offering is when, let's say, there's 950 million shares available of Tesla right now in the open market. Tesla comes out, they print 50,000 more shares or whatever it is, and then what they do is in the open market they sell those shares. So they start increasing supply, and when you increase supply in the open market, price will fall, but you'll get money for exchange, and then usually they just put that in the bank account. Zoom moving upwards. Yeah, Zoom's interesting. Like, watch out for Zoom, guys. If like any of these companies, in my opinion, that have been raising money, like Zoom's up today, Lemonade's up today. Let me just check Lemonade. No, sorry, Lemonade's down now today, which is good. Like any of these companies that are offering more shares, and convertible notes are a little bit different, but if they're offering more shares, be careful, because remember, you guys remember when Tesla did a cap raise last time, and Tesla was actually green for the day, and then you noticed the next day it fell a lot because they weren't done offering their shares, and there was mass hysteria. Okay, they're done, it's green, let's get back in. So be patient with those share offerings until they announce with the SEC that they're done. You don't know for a fact whether or not they are, but again, they can take 2 or 3 days after they're actually done to even announce that. Looks like we're back testing 856 on Tesla to the moving average. Let's see. Earnings state released. Oh, sweet. Let me check this out. Go on Twitter. Yeah, let's check it out. Jim Cramer. All right, so whales coming in on Tesla buying puts for the end of January, 707. Interesting. Who would have posted this? Probably Sawyer. Probably would. Shout out Sawyer, by the way. Great Twitter follow. I don't see it. Where do you see that they announced February 2nd? Who said that? I think Gentry. Where did you see that? Let me know. I haven't gotten an email from them either. I'm guessing they might do that after, though. Yeah, but Brick, I don't think he'll do another offering before the stock pushes up. I think you do an offering when the stock is pushed up a lot. Right? So yep. That's true. Should have waited for Tesla to drop. Yeah, I mean, you never know. Like the thing is, if you're gonna get into Tesla stock for a long-term core position, stock wise, there's no good time. Like, you don't know. Like, you might buy at the peak. Like, check this out. In March, if you had bought in at the peak the day before the crash, let's see, like, pull up any stock, right? Even if you bought the day before the peak, and let's see if I move this. Don't really use TradingView. Okay, great. Pull that up there. All right. Hey, thanks for subscribing. Okay. Right here. Let's see. Earnings. Where's the date? Oh, there it is. March. Okay. Let's say a crash like COVID happened again. And this is an obvious example because it's Tesla, but I'll pull up a different stock even and get the point. Even if you bought at the peak before COVID, which was 190 post split adjusted, and you were less than half your money, like you were a third, you were 66% negative on your trade. If you have shares, you have the biggest benefit with any investment you can ever have, and that's equity, and that's never expiring. You know, as an options trader, you know, you take time for granted a little bit, or you know, as an equity investor, you take time for granted a little bit. As an options trader, you know the value of time, because every day you log in your account, Theta's eating your account alive if you're long options. So even if you had bought at the peak before COVID and you were 66% down, I don't have to tell you how you shaped up today. So, and this is Tesla, so, you know, maybe it's not a, you know, you can be like, oh, it's not a great argument, pull up any big stock in the S&P 500, right? And you came in and you bought at COVID. So let's say you bought Apple February 12th. It peaked at $82 post split adjusted. And at the peak COVID rate, it was at $53. Like, you were almost 50% down on your position in Apple. Well, you only have to wait 3 or 4 months for you to be, or honestly, probably a month and a half for you to be even again. And then now it's just obviously, you've come triple or double at least from where you're at, especially if you dollar cost average your way down. So that's the thing with shares. It's, and it sounds stupid, but as an options trader, and if you guys trade only options like I do pretty much, obviously I have shares here and there, that value of time is just, it's priceless, right? Like literally it's priceless. Stupid. It's a really like stupid point, right? But I think it's important to realize. All right, what did I do here? All right, what did I do here? Jump to the end. Wow. Okay, hold on. How do I reset trading view? Wow. All right, I think I got it. All right, 1 minute graph. Tesla's at 8:55. All right, bear with me here. Don't use trading view. All right, here we go. Tesla's at 8:55. It looks like it's retesting and shuffling around this these moving averages here. Yeah, 4 for 20 share split. That's what they did last time. Oh, I wanted to pull up Elon's interview. So let me just pull up Supercharger. What's up? Okay. I have it ready here, but let me just go through some of the comments. Exactly, yeah, you did well. Liam, can you explain what you look for before buying and selling a Tesla option? Sure. Yeah, Zoom's ripping. No, Interactive Broker's not down. My computer has been super buggy, so I'm just on TradingView. Okay, so when you're options trading, here's what I love about options, right? Options gives you a way to take any thesis that you have about the market and turn it into a trade. Okay, so hear me out. You're like, okay, well, I can already do that, Yash. I can, if I'm bullish on a stock, I can buy. If I am, bearish on a stock, I can short sell. Yes, but there's intricacies here. What if you don't think the stock is going to move? Can you make a trade on that with shares? No, you can't. You can't profit off of the stock not moving, right? In options, you can. Here's the thing with options. You can take any thesis that you have and you can turn it into a trade. So if you're long, so you have to break down what does being long mean. If you're bullish on a stock, are you short-term bullish? Are you bullish? Are you heavily skewed for the next 2 weeks? Are you long-term bullish? Do you want to buy leaps? Are you short-term bearish? You think, Tesla's going to do a stock offering tomorrow. You heard from your friend that's friends with Elon Musk, and you think for sure tomorrow's doing Tesla's doing a share offering, it's going to go down. All right, so you short-term bearish, like you can take any, yes, and you can hedge. You can take any thesis that you have with options, and you can combine and puts together with calls and have different ratios. It's complicated, but at the end of the day, you can take any thesis you have and turn it into a trade, right? So the first question you have to ask yourself is, okay, you say, what options trade should I do on Tesla? Well, think about the question that you're asking. The question really should be, what do you think is going to happen with Tesla? And then you can base a trade off of that. So I'll give you an example. If I think Tesla will not move in, let's say if I don't think Tesla is going to move between, it's at 853 right now, it's retesting lows. I don't think Tesla is ever gonna come close to 800 this week, nor do I think it's gonna come close to 900 this week. What you could do if you wanted to in that hypothetical situation is you could sell an $800 put and you could sell a $900 call as to collect both sides of the premium, right? Obviously, you need margin for that because you have a naked call exposure and a naked put exposure. But that's called a strangle, right? When you're coming in here, and can I draw on this? Probably not, but oh yeah, I can. Okay, cool. So it's probably a price line here somewhere. Just draw this out real. We do a price line. Bear with me here. These fibs and stuff I don't care about. Okay, let's do this. So you come in here, right? And you can go, okay, I don't think there's a chance of Tesla hitting 900 this week. Okay, I got to click here. And I don't think there's a chance of it going to 800 this week, right? So let's change this here. So you can come in here and you can literally sell a call up here, a call up here, and a put down here. Here's the thing. Unless you have a big account, you might not be allowed by your broker because you'll be exposed with infinite loss technically, right? So what you could do is you could even come down and then say, okay, well, obviously I'm not able to sell naked premium. So what I'll do is I'll cap my risk. I'll sell that put, but then I'll buy the put 3 strikes away. So worst case scenario, if Tesla goes to 0, it's not like I have, unlimited downside. And then you can do the same thing here and you can go, okay, well, I have to probably do the same thing on the call side. I'm going to buy a call 2 strikes up. That's called an iron condor, right? It's a great earnings play because when it comes to earnings, you don't really kind of general market theory is that earnings will always bake in more move in an option than actually happens, right? Over the normally distributed timeline of general market theory. And if you watch my videos, you know that I go in and I show you how to calculate what is actually priced in the market. So I come in as a straddle. Let's say if Tesla had earnings this week. So you can come in here. Let me hit straddle. No, a straddle is different, right? So a straddle is when you sell premium at the same strike, right? A strangle is when you sell premium out of the money on both sides because you're strangling the stock. A straddle is when you're doing it at an even level or really close to at the money on, maybe 1 strike away on each level, and you're straddling it, right? So that's different. Strangles and straddles are different. They're often confused. But let me click on straddle. Let's see here on Yahoo Finance if it lets me. Yeah, I can definitely do more videos on this sort of stuff. Here. Investopedia is probably okay. Oh no, actually I got it here. Okay, so let me show you. Okay. So Tesla, using that example, we could sell the 900. Oh man, this is like, these quotes are garbage, but I have it on my phone, so I'll just pull it up here real quick. The 900 call right now on Tesla is $11. Okay, this is $11. Oh, it says right here. Okay, $11. Okay, you could sell that, collect $1,100. Then you could come in here to the $800 puts and collect, is this right? $5.49. Let's say $5. So in total, you've collected $16. Right? That's right. Let's round up to $16, right? You've collected $6 from here or $5 from here, and you've collected $11 from here. You get $16, aka $1,600 by Friday if Tesla does not finish in the money at all. Now, unless you have a big account, that's probably not possible. So what you need to do is you need to cap your downside. You need to buy even further out the money to cap that downside. So let's say if you wanted to cap the call side and say Tesla is not going to hit, or you wanted to cap it and buy the 920s for $7. Let me just make sure it's $7, right? You could buy it's $7. So you could buy this, sell this for a net on this side of $4, right? You've collected 11. You use 7 of that to buy this. You collect $4 on this side. Let's keep it easy. You collect $4 on the other side. So net, you're collecting $8 for the week if Tesla doesn't hit. Well, your max loss, if you want to quickly calculate that, is the difference between the strikes. So 900 to 920 is $20 minus what you collected, minus $8 is what I said, right? So your maximum loss here is 1,200 bucks. You're collecting 800 bucks. So you have to figure out, is that worth me doing? What's my break even? Well, my break even is what I collected, so $8 plus your strike that you sold. So 900 plus $8. So 908 is your break even on the upside. So you can build any sort of trade you want, and then you can come in and you can actually take that trade on, right? Yeah, exactly. Well, so I hear the term naked, like I don't buy naked calls a lot. Naked calls is a term reserved for when you're selling calls, right? Because that means you're naked. When you're buying a call, you don't have unlimited downside potential. Tesla here at 855, 854. Yeah, like when you buy, so the term naked call is for people that can lose their pants. So if you sell that 900 call and you don't have any protection and Tesla goes to $3,000 tomorrow morning, well, you've just literally lost so much money unless you recovered on it, or unless you had bought a strike or two out, right? So naked call is reserved for when you don't have a protection position on that. When you're buying a call, remember your worst case scenario when you buy a call in terms of loss potential is what you paid for the thing. You're never going to lose more on a call than what you made on it or what you paid for it. Patrick, how screwed are my Tesla February 5th $1,000 calls? $1,000 is a long way away still, right? February 5th. So benchmark funds still have to buy. Are they gonna short squeeze the stock even more? It's definitely possible. Like, will we see 1,000? 1,000 is gonna be FJ 1,000 this Thursday. Is gonna be, remember, at 1,055, we've hit $1 trillion in market cap. I think worst case scenario you can probably cover later if something happens. Like, but remember, you don't need to wait till February 5th. Some of that time decay will happen in the meantime if Tesla just trades sideways. So just keep that in mind as well. Yeah. Tesla is looking good though. Like, Tesla's looking healthy. Yesterday's drop was just, again, I'll say it's a little bit sketchy. A little bit sketchy. It's a little bit sketchy. Like, it's almost like someone caught wind of potential cap raise rumor and they sold a bunch of their position. That or it was a fake out to get a lot of retailers to dump shares yesterday. And I know people in the comments that have left me comments and messages, hey, I sold at 820 yesterday. I know I shouldn't have. I sold right at the bottom. It's funny, like, these big hedge funds and market makers, these people with their algos can actually dictate whether or not you're gonna sell your shares. They can move the stock in a way that's proven to get more retail people that are watching to dump shares. Like, they know if they dump the stock really fast over 2 or 3 minutes, they're 10% more likely to get retail investors to sell than dumping it over a 10 minute period, right? Like, they've built in all these algos. Tesla's pumping again. 858, 857, sorry, 857. Right? Yeah, they want to shake they want to shake out the weak hands, absolutely. Best way to trade options with a super small account. If you have a super small account, you have to ask yourself the question, like, am I willing to lose in my entire account? And if the answer is yes, all right, maybe then proceed and then know the risks of, being short options. But the only real way, like, it depends how small it is, right? Small to you might be, 10K. Small to someone else might be like 1K. So it really depends. Like, I started a challenge account last year, because we bought a couple places, and we had some more expenses. So I invested a lot of money into real estate. But smaller account, with 5K 1.5 years ago, and like more than 10x that account is possible. But you have to realize, like, you have to be willing to lose the entire thing first of all. And contrary to popular belief, like, there's ways to do it with less risk. Like, you don't have to play weeklies that are expiring this week to make money. Go out, buy some cheaper leaps for a couple of grand really far out the money. That's a good strategy, maybe, right? Like, look at stocks that are cheaper that you can buy leaps on. So, and then try to day trade with the rest, right? On real estate, yeah. I mean, if there's interest, I can talk about real estate as well. Definitely a possibility. Uh, that happens, Waka. Yeah, yeah. Tasha says Tesla car is pulling an Apple move on the industry. Tesla is pulling an Apple move on the car industry. Oh yeah, 100%. Leaps can cost a lot, Mark. Yeah, for sure they do. But sometimes you can buy a leap pretty cheap. Like on Tesla, no way, not right now. But look for the next Tesla, maybe. Look for a stock that's, 50, 60, 70, 80, $90 that you can go out really far at the money a year away or 6 months away and try to 10x your money there. Possible. But I like leaps. I like stuff that has more, and leaps technically means a year or more out. But to traders, we say leap anything like 3 or 4, 5, 6 months out. So when we swing trade, we kind of call those leaps. But try to buy yourself as much time. Just crazy. That's crazy, Marco. Yeah, I mean, you can do verticals. Yeah, leaps. You can do verticals, right? You can buy a really, like, one strategy is potentially to lower your average. You can come in, you can buy a leap in Tesla at the, or not in Tesla, because like you're gonna need a lot of money to buy an at the money leap in Tesla right now. But let's say you come in to a stock, you buy a leap that's expiring in a year, more than a year, let's say 2 years or something. You buy it at the money, right? Maybe it costs you 5-6 grand on like 6 grand on Square, maybe an at the money leap or something, right? I'd have to check. And then every week you sell out of the money calls to lower your average on that, right? Maybe that's the strategy that you want to do, right? Those are called calendar diagonal spreads, right? Or poor money, or poor man's covered call, technically, right? So that's possible too. Yeah, I saw Meet Kevin's portfolio. That was crazy. That was crazy. What is he? Turned 656 grand into 20 million in 1 year. And he barely did any options, all from pretty much holding shares. It's just nuts. So check out this interview with Elon Musk. I pulled it up here. This is not getting talked about at all, right? This got released December 5th. I read it that night. It was really long, but it was worth it. I'm not sure if you guys have read this yet. Check this out. Just one paragraph. I'm going to read it out. Our approach is probably, okay, so here's the question. Herbert D said half jokingly, Tesla could now take over Volkswagen. Would that be attractive to you at all? Musk, our approach is probably going to be execute independently, but we can either manufacture or license some of our technologies to a company like BMW. Okay, I think that much is it's cool, but we kind of know that. We're trying to be as pure as possible here with our respect to our goal, which is accelerating sustainable energy. Which is to, obviously he goes to say it, so it's not about creating competitive walled gardens or anything like that. I think we know that with Elon. We're going to be making, listen to this sentence, we are going to be making our supercharger network available to other companies. He says it in the affirmative. We're going to be offering licensing of autopilot. They want to use our autonomy, and we could potentially do something with battery cells. So look, he says we can potentially do something with battery cells, but he says we are going to be making our supercharging network available. And he says this in a way where, in context, when I read it, it seemed like it was going to happen soon. Like soon. Like, why would you come out and say and I think this has kind of gotten swept under the rug in the mainstream media, but he literally says right here, we are going to offer licensing of autopilot. What's the like which analyst on Wall Street, I'll ask you guys, has mapped out the supercharger network revenue? I'll wait. Someone says Gordon Johnson, I swear. Which analyst has mapped out offering licensing of autopilot? Like, yes, but the one that like the reason why I'm really stoked on this is not he's not saying like we're going to be like we're thinking about doing this. Like he says like we're gonna be doing this. Like right like and it like the way that I read this is like it's coming up. Just wait. So yes, exactly. Yeah. Um well that's the thing is hey, welcome to Patreon, Patrick Nets. Welcome to Patreon. Join us on Discord. We'll have a good conversation on there. Like it's interesting. Um and a good analogy to supercharger network is gas stations. What if what if Volkswagen owned Chevron or I don't know what big gas stations are in America, but like let's say they own one of the big gas station chains. It'd be like the same thing, and no one's pricing this into the market. It's just nuts. So this one paragraph just I was like, "Oh crap, it's about to happen." Like it's literally going to happen. We're going to wake up one day and it's going to be a news headline like Tesla makes a joint deal for X billion with probably Volkswagen, because I found it interesting, right? Like he says, we can either manufacture or license some of our technology to companies like BMW. I found that interesting. Like he calls out BMW, right? When they were talking about Volkswagen, Daimler, and BMW together. So I find it interesting that one day we're going to probably wake up and this is probably going to be the news headline. Tesla retesting 850 here. 4 minutes to close. It looks like there's the 850, maybe a 850 retest here on the whole number. Let's see here. Yeah. Thanks for subscribing there. Oh, it says I subscribed, but I can't. Gas stations are not ideal for charging if you're there for 20 minutes anymore. Yeah, ideally they turn the supercharger network into like this, and they're already been doing this with trying to reach out to companies that want to fund these superchargers. But I'll tell you, when I go to supercharge, what do? I almost always spend money around where I'm charging. I maybe get coffee, I maybe get a bite to eat, maybe go out to the bank, and maybe have foot traffic past the little store. I have 30 minutes to kill, and unless I have a meeting or I'm in my car with my laptop working on something or listen to radio, I'm probably trying to run some sort of an errand, right? And if they can put like grocery stores by superchargers, which is already happening more and more around here, or a big mall, which is where I go, like people are like, this is how you're gonna boost post-COVID economies, right? Yeah, Tesla's been touching 850 a lot. What's power hour, says Todd. Power hour is the last hour of trading in the market, and usually that's when we see a lot of the big wild moves or swings or pins. As a shareholder, Josh said, I don't want Elon to share his charging network, but accelerating a sustainable energy is more important. I agree. Like, part of me was like, well, if they're gonna start sharing their supercharging network, I'm gonna have less spots, but that's the selfish part of me talking, and I have to realize like there's a bigger mission out here. Tesla looking like 850 is kind of where it's gonna close here today. Yeah, Johnny, I agree. I need to be slow charging it more, but I live in an apartment, so I have to supercharge. Also, studies have shown like with the newer cell infrastructure and chemistry now, supercharging actually doesn't degrade it that much anyways anymore. But for the older cars, absolutely, I agree. Looks like 850 is kind of where it's stuck at for the day. Let's see what happened after hours. Tesla, do you remember the day when we closed at all-time highs at 882, right? After hours when it dipped, that was ARK selling after hours, I read. So let's see what happens here after hours. Thanks for subscribing, Todd. Thanks for subscribing. If you guys are listening to this, whatever you do, do not hit subscribe. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, it's nuts. Like 850, right? Like put this into context. Let's put this 1 hour out. Put this 1 hour out, right? Oh man, trade. And this is a 1 hour chart, but 850 for us to close, and then we've just closed now. For us to close at 850 is really solid. Like really solid. This is the second highest closing on Tesla we've had in history, right? This was the first highest, second highest, third highest was yesterday. This is the second highest. Yeah, so second highest. Right on. Thanks for subscribing, y'all. Told you not to. Just kidding. Hey Marco, thanks for the super chat. 849. Is this your thing? Marco also super chatted. What was it? 888? No, 880. Yeah, 888. A while ago. Yeah, that was great. That was a crazy power hour. If you guys were there a couple of days ago when we were ripping to like 882 at during power hour, that was nuts. So 850, let's check out if any news has come out on Tesla. Let's check it out here. Thank you again, Marco. Check out any news here that's come out. See here. Twitter is pretty fast with updating any sort of news. I think we get maybe like a credit upgrade. Okay, so here you have some news here. Tesla pulled an Apple move in self-driving, leaving Apple Car way behind. I think that goes without saying. Apple hasn't shown any significant development progress, Tasha says. Tasha she's great. They expect natural geographic monopolies to emerge, which would make coming from behind a disadvantage. Guys, if there's no way Apple is going to make a car. I mean, maybe I have to eat my words on that, but there's no way. They've partnered with Hyundai. They're gonna let Hyundai do all of that sort of stuff, and they're gonna do maybe the infotainment or the FSD or something. Because now that Apple's made their M2 chips or M1 chips, maybe they eye themselves as the next NVIDIA. Check out Gary Black. Okay, is there a new tweet out? Tesla is now coming up to 20 billion real world miles driven for autopilot, while Google is around 20 to 50 million. That's nuts. Anyone that thinks Tesla's not going to win autonomous driving is just nuts. Wait, what happened to Trump? Trump says 25th Amendment will come back to haunt the Biden administration during his speech. What does that even mean? Okay, Gary Black. Let's check it out. What's Gary Black saying? Walk says check him out. No growth portfolio manager would value Tesla on a trailing or current year PE. Agreed? It doesn't make sense economically given the huge growth runway with EV adoption just at 3% today, going to 24% by 2025. You know what's nuts is ARK thinks 24% is low. I think they think over 30%. Someone can correct me on that in the chats. Tesla total addressable market soaring as Y goes global. Guys, why the Model Y jazzes me up every time I think about it. I am actually kind of pissed that I got the 3 when I did, and you know, let bygones be bygones. I never want to have regret in my life, but you know, I said but. I don't like using but in my vocabulary a lot, but however, the Model Y Standard Range Plus that came out this week, oh, just wish I got that. Anyways, Model Y is gonna absolutely kill it. Cybertruck launches 2021. I honestly think Cybertruck's probably not going to be released till next year. That's my conservative guess. Hey Todd, thanks for the super chat with the mic. India is the new total addressable market catalyst. Maybe. Maybe India doesn't, they actually don't buy a lot of cars, or there's not a lot of new car sales in India. So though I agree India is a huge market, I'm curious to see how this plays out. Gary Black says, at $856, Tesla trades at 82 times next year's earnings per share of 1040, estimated, obviously, versus 2021 to 2025 volume and earnings per share growth of 55% and 57%, respectively. What else is he saying here? On 2025 earnings per share of $29 at a modest 50 PE, Tesla is worth $1,450, worth today $1,000 discounted at 9.7%. My 6 to 12 month price target is $1,000. Did he up this? Wasn't it 800? Someone tell me in the chat. Wasn't it like 800 something? The real world drive is not good in the snow up there. We don't have snow. We don't have snow here, but yeah, it's probably not the best. We don't have snow in Vancouver. If you guys want the California of Canada, you got to come to Vancouver. I mean, rain's too much to be called California, but it's quite honestly like it snows here once every 2 or 3 years. Okay, snows like less than 4 times every 2 years. How about that for an average? So it looks like Gary's updated his price target to $1,000. What was it before? Waka, you want to tell me? He's conservative. Add $400 to it. Yeah, honestly. In Quebec, Ashal says we have a bit of the white stuff and the Model Y does great. Yes, I bet it does. Electric cars are great for snow because they have such a low center of gravity, right? In Vancouver, yep. Model Y is a bit too big for Europe. Agreed. That's why they're gonna have to make a local version in Berlin. And come to Quebec City, the Boston of Canada. Yeah, Francois, I should have guessed you're from Quebec. 840. Okay, 840 was his previous price target. Okay, so that's interesting. Like, this is not far off from what we were estimating. Remember, we had that Google Drive. We talked about it the other day on the live stream. I had a video about it on if you just value Tesla by the cars they sell. So now he's at 1,000. In that bull scenario that I painted out, I think I put in $1,388 was like the ultra bull case, or like the arc case of what would happen. Poutine on me. Hey, Liam, you're in Quebec as well. Hey, awesome. I love the poutine in Quebec. Is that stereotypical for me to say? I've been to Quebec once in Montreal. Stayed there in Little Italy. So if we look at the price target, so this is the really shitty price target I did on Google Excel or Google Sheets on my video, and I did it on the live stream again. If you just focus in on this side, on the left side where I have, let me just close these tabs, where I have cars in 2025. So ARC thinks 7 million is reasonable. This would be their revenue at 59,300 average selling price. Their operating margin at 10% would net $41.5 billion with no FSD. At a 40 times PE, that gives us a market cap of 1.66 trillion. And when we discounted that back, we got 2.1 times where we're at right now, which gets us to, you know what's hilarious? Is when I was making this video, literally last week or a week and a half ago, Tesla was at $705. That's actually hilarious. So that gets us at $1,388 for a price target. Now this is extremely bullish. I think Gary had it to 4 million. So let me just change that there. So he had it set to 4 million. Revenue is that much. And a market cap of $1 trillion. So that's what he discounted. So when he discounted it, the price multiple, it came up to, I think I want to say $900-ish, high 800s. So I have to update this formula, but and that's just the car side, right? This is the car side, right? ARC thinks there's going to be like exponential EV growth in the next 5 years, like mind-boggling fast. That's what their big bet is on. And I have no reason to doubt Kathy and Tasha and everyone there. I want to interview Kathy Woods one day. I think that would be an epic interview. I don't think she's ever given interviews other than Bloomberg and stuff, but that'd be a great. Biden will announce Thursday 3 trillion. I expect 2K per. Oh, 3 trillion stimulus package. I thought you meant 3 trillion market cap. 2K per month per household. Is that right? Hmm. Interesting. I have to watch more Meet Kevin on that. But the interesting thing here is like full self-driving is a whole nother business. And I don't want to have to go through all the math that we did last 2 days ago if you guys have already watched this. But at $250 a month, Sam, no, I don't think there'll be another stock offering coming. That's my opinion. At $250 a month, in 10 years when they have 66 million cars in their fleet, at a 28% take rate of people subscribing to this package, they'll be netting a year $55.5 billion from this. And remember, for FSD, once you make the software once, it's all pretty much just profit margin. There's no like extra cost there or overhead. So FSD market cap can be in the like a trillion or more if we discount this heavily, right? So that's just FSD. And where did I get 66 million from? This is what I projected for Tesla to make cars. 2021 they make 800, then 1.2. I have them going at 50% until 2026 and then at 30% until 2023. And then I added up the total amount of cars in the fleet and I got to 66 million. So if 3 trillion is coming, my Bitcoin will explode. Yeah. Bitcoin. Okay, here's the thing with Bitcoin is it's actually not a hedge. It's literally going with the market. So that's what I don't get. Jen, I'm hoping you're having a good first week at your job though. I remember your comment. Hopefully that's going well for you. Yes, so it's interesting, right? Like if you value FSD by itself, and maybe, you know, the one really dumb assumption I make here is that, you know, it's almost 100% gross margin. And yes, there might be like 10% cost here or something. So we can't technically value it without having like an actual company to value it on. But if we just segment out FSD, that's what I think it's worth, right? Cybertruck, you're right, Walk. I don't even have Cybertruck as like its own thing here. Like the best selling cars in USA are pickup trucks, the Ford F Series, right? In year to date, I don't know when this was published. So in 2019, the Ford F Series sold 500,000, close 450,000. The Chevy Silverado sold 255,000. The Ram pickup truck sold 300,000. If you add just those three up, that's literally like a million cars, let's say, rounding. That's double what Tesla just did last year. So if we talk about growth potential, Tesla is going to take a huge slice out of the Ford F-Series and the Silverados and the Ram. Like, as someone that's looked into pickup trucks, I don't have one, but when Tesla comes out with their Cybertruck, first of all, it's electric, so you save fuel. It has an air compressor built in for your tools. That's huge if you do construction. Putting in power tools into your car and having it run off of there without having to have an air compressor or external power generator, huge. It's just a no-brainer. Autopilot. Like, here's the thing. Tesla's hardest problem is gonna be, and this I think they'll do fine with, but Tesla needs to make the Cybertruck feel mainstream, right? As soon as not mainstream, acceptable, right? Because that's their biggest challenge. And I don't think it's going to be a huge one because whatever Elon touches kind of turns into a meme and everyone wants to be it anyways. So, you know, I do see value there. But if Tesla can associate Cybertruck with brand value for a lot of these pickup type owners, watch out, right? Because first of all, they're not going to be demand constraint in the short term anyways. Like anything they build right now, they're going to sell. I'm talking like later down the line, if they want to pick up growth, they need to make this Cybertruck as appealing to a pickup owner as like a Ford F-150, right? One of the best selling pickup cars in the world. So I think, and this is what Kathy says, she says the cost and the benefit will speak for itself. Like that's what her philosophy is with technology, is if it costs less and it does more, you don't need anything else. It'll pick up by itself. But if it's better but it costs the same, or if it's better and it costs more, obviously you're not going to make the change. So you need it to be better by 10 times and you need it to come at a cheaper price. You pre-ordered, nice. You're not going to see it till beginning 2023. That's probably a fair estimate. Yeah, it's probably a fair estimate. India could pass that 50%. No. Yeah, if India's to be determined in my book. Like we're gonna have to see what sort of market they pull up there. Wow, it's crazy. ARK is predicting a valley of death around 2025. Huge demand for EV, not enough supply, very very low demand for gas. Global vehicle sales. Yeah, think about it. If like for example here electric car or gas cars will be banned starting 2030, right? And if it's year 2026, by the way, if I'm watching this in 2026, hello. If it's year 2026 and I'm in the new car market, why would I buy a car that's literally not going to be made in 4 years and doesn't have that limited edition type quality to it? It's just going extinct in 4 years versus buy like the next best electric car vehicle up there. Just yeah. And if Valley of Death is correct, then we don't want people like Apple to jump in. I think you want people like Apple to jump in because I made a video about this as well on my channel. You can search up, hit that bid Apple, you'll find it. But I think it's great for the electric car market for Apple to come in because it adds so much legitimacy to the industry. And one thing I want to talk about is like ARK has done a lot of the work for us, right? So I try to find it here. Maybe I can't right now, but I'll do it on a different screen. Like ARK puts out white papers on stuff. Like they put out white papers on every project they do. They put out modeling. They give you the spreadsheet. Like they've literally done all the work. And that's why I love ARK, is because they're kind of like an open source investment vehicle. And if we pull up, let's see here. I have to go through their model again. Found their Square one though. I am heavy in Square right now. Let's, just bullish on where Square can go. Yeah, it's just a no-brainer. Oh really? Was she the CIO of Bernstein? Oh, I didn't know that. Kathy's dope. She is. The leaps are good on Square. Let me check. I am in grand total about even ish right now. Let me see. Oh no, I'm up, but like my maybe 16% on one, flat on another, 3% down on the others. But I'm holding these till 2022, 2023, so I got time. Thinking of jumping in for January 2022. Well, if you look at Square's IV rank, they're currently sitting at 22, really low. So if you want to go for leaps, maybe now is a good time. Like maybe their earnings are not coming out until February though, I think. I have to double check. I probably should know that, but their earnings, and the thing is like, what's Tesla like? When people, in our community, when we talk about Tesla, the second stock we often talk about is Square. And yes, Square has grown tremendously this last 12 months, but it hasn't hit that hyper growth in their stock price yet. I think it's still a little bit lagging. That's my thesis on Square, is like they're moving into Europe. They're obviously a better product. They have the economy's opening up again. These businesses that use Square have been closed for so many months. When they open it up and they start taking merchant processing again, they start giving out loans again. People start using it for crypto in this year, and the hype coming up. Like that's kind of my general thesis with Square. Hey Todd, thanks for the super chat again. One up. I appreciate that. I have far out of the monies on Square. I don't even know which ones I have. It's far out of the money though. Israeli tech companies, IZRL. Yeah, that one's I haven't seen that one, but I have seen a huge influx. Like, what's another one I used to own? I used to own this Israeli tech company for X-rays, Nanox, NNOX, back when, you know, they first came out. It seems like Israel is like a hot place for tech, and I can't get my finger on the pulse as to how and why and how they're getting funded really easily like that. So definitely good. It's definitely something to watch for, but there's definitely like a Silicon Valley type feel in Israel right now. um um awesome, awesome. Well, let's see if there's any other news here. Out Gary. I could go on my timeline, but we'll probably find like random stuff there. Going to, again, Sawyer is great. If Sawyer watches YouTube streams, but if you're watching, appreciate you, man. He's just fighting with people. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I hopped on the webinar today for ARK Invest, and they got full. Hey John.
Nice discussion, HTB. Thanks.
There we go. Hopefully you heard that. Appreciate that. Thanks, John. Again, whatever you guys do not hit the subscribe button though. All right, don't join the family. Whatever you do. I don't want to see the number go up. ARK Invest did a great webinar today. It's not recorded yet, but when it is, maybe I'll post a link to it on my YouTube status. But apparently they did a great webinar today. They said they were going to talk about multi-cancer screening, so genomics, Bitcoin, and Q&A. That's in that webinar is where Tasha talked about Apple. So I'm interested to see what happens there. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Andre. And Shiva, thanks for subscribing. Looks like my subscriptions are coming up again finally. For a while of not coming up. Okay. Israel has the most engineers per capita. Yeah, it makes sense. Hey Tyler, by the way. Yeah, it makes sense. They're a small capital too, right? Like their population is not very high, but there's some high growth companies out of Israel. It's interesting. But to my point about oh, look at this. This is also a good follow on Twitter. JPR007. Volkswagen worldwide unit sales fall 15.1% to 5.3 million in 2020 from 6.2. Ouch. But they sold almost 100,000 BEVs, battery electric vehicles. So ID3 sold 56,000 last year and 41. Interesting. It's good to see them doing something. Now, as a electric vehicle person in the market, I would not buy an ID3. I'm not big on Volkswagen, and I don't believe in like Android type infrastructure right now with electric vehicles, and that's kind of what these Chatamo type cars are, like Nissan Leafs, Chevrolet Bolts. Like they use Chatamo, and I don't have a home charging, so I 10, 20, 30% of the reason why I bought my Tesla was because of the supercharging network. I still remember you saying, Johnny, it's unbelievable when we say at 1.8k subs, Tesla growth. Like, yeah, the channel is growing crazy. Like, join the family if you haven't already. You know, I'm half joking when I say don't subscribe, but you know, join the family if you haven't already. Like, we've been around for actually a month of last week, so a month and 1 week right now, and growing crazy. And it's because of you guys that we're having this great family growth. Lots of ID3 pre-ordered. Yeah, I see that. Didn't ID3 have recalls? I think it did. I think it did, but there's people that love ID3s. Yeah, it's a futuristic leap. Yeah. Join the Discord if on Patreon. Join the Discord. Gentry, are you in the Discord? I think you are, right? Yeah, Patreon link for joining Discord is in the description, of course. Join us in there. We have great conversations in there. I'll just read out the channels we got in case you want to know what topics we talk about. So we have a general market one where we talk about futures and what's happening there, and general stocks that aren't fitting into one of the channels. We have an options talk one, which is specific about like option strategies, what plays people are looking at, stuff like that. A Tesla one, duh. Neo, Square, Apple, small caps, and Lemonade, and crypto. Those are the channels we have right now. Obviously willing to make more. Oh, okay. So that's you in the Discord. Okay, gotcha. Good stuff. Awesome, Kevin. I'll see you in there, man. Awesome. Yeshua. You know what's funny is everyone sometimes typos my name from Yeshua into Yeshua. It's totally fine. I'm not upset. I googled Yeshua and I was talking to my mom. She's like, it means Jesus. I was like, what? So I googled it, and I'm not even lying. In Hebrew, and maybe someone who speaks Hebrew in the chat can let me know, it translates to Jesus. It's the Hebrew name of Jesus, and that's awesome. I love that. I love that. I am not. No, that's not me, Gentry. But I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Lucky. Okay, sorry. One question: if you could have invested the money you spent on Tesla calls into plain Tesla stock, would you have made more or less? Oh, good question, Marco. I would have made way less. Let me calculate how much. Let's say 10x, right? No, I would have. I've more than 10x'd. Like Tesla stock, let's say, turned from 70 to 700, or no, 80 to 800. Let me just do the math here. 5. No, but it would have been close. It would have been 16 times versus 10 times. So no, it's yeah. I would have made less. But here's the thing, Marco, you raise a good point. Would I have saved myself some brain cells, late nights, super stressful days sometimes? I don't stress over my account because it is what it is, right? Would I have saved myself that stress aspect to it? Yes. Would I had as much fun as I've had? And if you're listening to me right now, you know for a fact what I'm talking about when you open up your phone in the morning and Tesla's about to gap up 5%, the thrill that you have, right? Would I have also cut, because it's not exciting. It's okay when you trade options. There's a different kind of high. It's like a crack high. I'm not speaking from experience, but there's a crack high you get from trading options versus trading shares, right? Holding shares. Yes, it's when you have a huge position, life-changing money, get it. But when you trade options, it's different, right? It's like, come on, let me know in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Like when you trade options and you see you're long these short-term calls for this week and Tesla's gapping up 5%, you're just looking at potentially how much you're going to make. It's not like a gambling. Maybe, I always segment a part of my account out for higher risk stuff, but it's a different kind of high. And also, I probably wouldn't have created this YouTube channel. Like, you guys are listening because I like talking about Tesla stock, shares, news. But like, if I just traded shares, I probably wouldn't follow Tesla day by day, right? Like, I follow Tesla day by day, and I care about what's happening because there's potential opportunities in the market, right? And I'm just happy that we have this community together. Taranth, how do I join your Discord? You have to be a Patreon member. So you can join for $3 on Patreon. That's the lowest membership. And as soon as you join, it gets connected with Discord. And yeah, the $3 isn't, I'm not getting rich off the $3. I'll tell you that. It's just, we don't want to make it open invite because sometimes we get spammers and people that don't provide a lot of value. So kind of a filtration mechanism. Traded 3 positions, options, played even. Yes, it's super exciting. Super exciting. My kids own Tesla in their custodial account. Awesome. Nice job, Kevin. Way to do that for them. Super nice for you to do. Have you seen that one person turn 500 to 900,000? Yes, I have. I actually talked with him on Reddit once in the Tesla investors group. I think his name was like Anon or something. That's awesome. Kids drive, parents buy Teslas. Yeah. Oh, you already are. Awesome. Great. So then all you have to do is just connect your Discord account with your Patreon account in the integration settings in Patreon. And then you'll get access on Discord to our server. It's obviously the server is called Hit That Bid. Yes, that works too, Francois. That works too. Is it okay? Is it a good idea to use margin money to invest in Tesla? Now, um, no, I mean, look, everyone has their own risk tolerance. In general, when I only trade options, I don't have margin because margin is on shares, technically speaking. But is it basically what you're asking? Is it a good idea to borrow money to invest in the market? If the answer to this question is yes, then sure. The question is, can you afford to lose that money? Can you pay it back? The answer is no, and it's going to stress you out, and it's going to change the way that you trade. Like that's the thing, right? As an invader, I'm a half investor. I have leaps and longer term positions. I do have shares in other stocks, and then I have shorter term positions. I trade. I'm an invader, kind of, right? I heard that on the Pounding the Table podcast, and I loved it. As an invader type of person, like I don't stress over like losses because I kind of put together my account in a way that like I'm not worried about it. Like it's not a big deal. But and here's the thing why it's important is because if you trade with scared money, if you trade expecting a win and if you are even slightly in the red, you start panicking, you're going to trade different, right? So I made kind of this challenge like a year and a half ago. I don't talk too much about it, but where I put 5K in account into Interactive Brokers and I said, okay, this is like my gambling ish money. I'm never probably going to see this again. Let me just put it away, see where it goes, right? And that's the account that, is turned into whatever, 16 times what it was. Pulled out money. Like the first big win I made, I pulled out 20. I pulled it right out, put it in my bank. And the reason why I did that was because I was like, okay, now, even if the rest of the account goes to zero, I've pulled out what I need for me to be like, okay, I'm golden. Doesn't matter what happens, right? That was my challenge I made. And I actually had a YouTube series idea where I wanted to make it like a challenge account where every day I post my updates and stuff. Never got to it, but that was in, you're gonna say good timing, but that was in February of last year, right? And then I pulled out 10 from there after another big Tesla win. So I've been pulling money out out of that account. That account's still like, relatively big for me, and I trade in it, but none of the positions I do in there I stress over because it's honestly because first of all, I've pulled like 30K out of that already. I put in 5 to begin with. I still have a huge position size in certain things that I want to have exposure to, so I'm happy. But the way I trade is different. And I'll tell you an example. I have a friend who also wanted to do something similar, right? He started with less money than I did, but he wanted to do the same thing where he's like, I'm never going to touch this again. But he took bigger swings than me at stuff, right? Like I took more conservative positions, out of the money, leap based, giving myself more time because again, I've been trading options for a while. I've had bigger account, but I've put it into real estate since then and stuff like this. But when I opened up this account, it was specifically for like, let's see if I can grow this exponentially, right? And he started with less, but he would do weeklies and 2 weeks away, month away. I was doing 3 months away, 6 months away. Mind you, I couldn't afford much in the beginning, right? In the beginning, when you have 5K and you're starting off, you can't really buy much. So you need some small wins to pad up your account, right? Once you pad up your account, then you can take bigger swings and bigger swings and bigger swings. But the biggest lesson I've learned in options trading is buy yourself more time. Unless you're a really experienced options trader and do this day in, day out, sit by your computer, you're going to want more time. Buy yourself more time on your position. Buy yourself more time on your position. You're going to need more time to make up for the sideways move that the stock has had since you bought in that call, right? Hey, David, how's it going, man? I'm back from work. Got more options a month out. Nice. Nice. Do you expect IV to decrease soon? Been waiting to buy Leap since last Monday. They're too expensive. Celine, it's tough. Like IV right now is for Tesla. I'm guessing you're asking. Tesla's IV rank is 47. Their IV percentile is 64. So it's like mid-range. So it's expensive. Like, yeah, it's expensive, right? Just run the break even analysis. So if I come in here and I do, let's say July, let's do July. And I know this isn't technically a leap, but like 6 months out is like far enough, right? So if you come into July and you say, okay, I want to buy out of the money, let's keep it even. Let's say really far out, right? Like 1,500. You're paying $6,400 per contract on that, right? Like you're paying a lot of money on that. So your break even is 64 plus 1,500, so it's 1,564. If you take 6,400 right now and you buy Tesla shares at 800, you can buy 8 shares. So it's tough, and that's 6 months out, right? Like if we're talking a traditional leap, you got to go way further out, out of the money. Look into stuff like Square. Like it depends on what your thesis level is or your conviction level is on stuff like Square, but look like stuff that it doesn't cost so much. Like Apple might be a good one, right? Apple's been stagnant for so long. Like look at Apple's graph. I pull up the maxes, just the exponential growth. But let me pull up the last 6 months. I'll show you. It's been relatively flat. Like yeah, it's gone to 134, 106, but it's kind of been moving in this range. Daniel Ives, Wedbush came out with a $200 price target on Apple. Like it can happen. So look at stuff that you can potentially afford to get into. Ivy might go up after earnings report. I think it'll go up until earnings, and then it'll probably crash after that. Where can you see the Ivy metric? I see it on my interactive brokers, but I think Market Chameleon has Ivy rank as well. Check out their site. I think they have it. Thinkorswim should have it. Actually, no, Thinkorswim, you got to program it in, I believe. IV rank, where is it? Yeah, right here. So it's moderate. IV rank is 63. You can find it on Market Chameleon. I appreciate y'all. How many likes do we have here? 117. That's awesome. All right, great. 1 dislike. Great. Awesome. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. 850 is our close again for Tesla. Stuff's looking good. Wait for news to come out. Wait for some sort of a catalyst. You can see at the 1 hour level, technical analysis is kind of, but if you give it a 30% weight, this is kind of looking like a bull flag-ish. I wonder if I can pull up volume on the bottom here. I can, maybe I can't, but volume profile, session volume. Add that in? No, can't. Built in volume. Add in net volume. Looking kind of like a bull flag on the hourly chart. Like we expanded from 830 all the way up to 866, as you guys know, and then we kind of trailed off and had support at the moving averages. So yeah, I mean, who's to say what happens, but part of me really thinks there's going to be big news coming up here. Hey, Donald Smith, welcome into the Patreon. Check you out in Discord. Feel free to say hi in there. Don't worry, people don't bite. Someone's name is Sushi. Yeah, looking good. We'll see if news comes out. Do you talk about Elon's tweet? Just as I'm about to sign off, you excite me like that. Let's see if Elon's tweeted. Okay, that's another big one. Is like maybe they add in Bitcoin. Which tweet? Am I missing one? Or x.x.com, that one? Yeah, let's see here. AI tweet, 30 milliseconds. X.x.com. I can really attest to this meme. The domain that you had, the side project that you never launched for. Oof, that hits right in the feels. That does. So let's wait for news. Let's wait for upgrades. Let's see what sort of stuff comes out tonight. Good day in Tesla. Again, we bounced back from that really crappy session yesterday. Looks like benchmarks still have to buy in. We're still seeing weakness in Apple. I think Amazon was a bit weak today. So these beta names are still selling off. So thank you. Awesome. Benjamin, I appreciate that. Thank you. Made a lot of money on options trading. Awesome. Congrats. Remember, none of the stuff that you do and you have success in is attributable to anyone other than you. You did it. You put yourself out there. You took the risk. Don't sell yourself short. That was you. Awesome, guys. Great session today. Power Hour was amazingly fun. Hour 39 in. Let's if Tesla, here's my promise. If Tesla's up more than 4% tomorrow, we'll do another Power Hour session and we'll go from there. All right, guys. I appreciate you. Hit the like on the way out if you can, and join our family by hitting subscribe. I just found out 70% of people, so 70% of you listening out there are not actually subscribed to the channel, even though you get alerts and stuff. YouTube is weird like that. So just hit the subscribe, doesn't cost you anything, and you can get alerted whenever I go live. Might be in the morning, probably not, probably midday, or Power Hour is my kind of classic. So if you care about that, if you had fun, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Johnny. I'll see ya. Hit that sub. I'll see you guys in the Discord as well. Take care, guys. See ya.